we are focusing on the paramis all year. The paramis are known as the great perfections. They are qualities, they are actions, they are values that we want to cultivate and nurture in our mindfulness practice and in our daily lives. There's a beautiful Buddhist prayer or wish, aspiration. By the merit of practicing the paramita, the parami of generosity, and the other great perfections, may we attain Buddhahood. May we wake up for the benefit of all beings. This is a 2,500-year-old commitment to everyday morality. Ethical conduct engages us directly with the world, as well as within our own internal private lives. Because as I said at the beginning, these practices are not confined to this chair or the cushion. We want them, we want to take them out into our daily lives, into our families and communities. We want our conduct and actions to come from clarity and right understanding. And we've been given so many wonderful supports from Bill and Susan regarding generosity, skillful speech, deep respect, even radical respect for the interconnections of this life. The precepts of Sila can be viewed something like training wheels. You guys remember your training wheels? You had them and they helped you to stay steady. They helped balance you until you could find your own balance, keep you upright until you could find your own sense of upright. The examination of our conduct, and I'm growing more and more to appreciate this, requires working with ourselves on a very intimate way. It requires a willingness for us to look honestly at our motivations and be very mindful about how our actions affect others and how they affect us privately, inside. The second precept: refrain from taking what is not freely given. It's kind of the thou shalt not steal. Each precept of Sila can also be viewed as a prompt to practice generosity. Each of the precepts are prompts to practice generosity, not only generosity, contentment, freedom from attachment, contentment. I'm going to come back to this a little later on. Barbara O'Brien is an author and teacher, and she, along with other teachers, look at the second precept this way. Instead of simply saying, what may I not take? Which is important. That's an important question. We think, what may I give? What may I give? And last week, Susan reframed all of the precepts as prompts of generosity. For instance, refrain from taking life. I offer safety. Refrain from unskillful speech. We heard that beautiful acronym, WAIT. I offer honesty and integrity. We want to refrain from harm. And these precepts, they give us a clear path for doing so. They are guides. They're not rules and laws. They're guides that can help us when we lose our way. And we all lose our way repeatedly. Repeatedly. Oh, what's important? Refrain from not taking what is not freely given. Refrain from taking what is not freely given. I offer trust. We all know about a million examples left and right ad infinitum of taking what is not freely given. The taking of land, the taking of dignity, the taking of affection, the taking of trust, the taking of freedom, of clean air, clean water. And there are the more subtle ways of taking what is not freely given. Oh, I have to get in front of this person. I got to get first in line. I better take that. They might be gone. Or taking credit when it really isn't mine to take credit for. Or monopolizing a conversation. Maybe coercing someone into doing something they don't really want to do. And as we deepen in our mindfulness practice, we become more sensitized to the nuances and subtleties of these precepts. We become more sensitized to the subtle and not so subtle impulses of grasping or clinging, grabbing, self-cherishing ego. Contentment is an antidote to the perception of lack, which can engender the desire to steal or to take. When I was in my early 20s, I was transitioning from college to living on my own in New York City. And I wasn't sure if I could make enough money or pay my rent. It was just a time of a lot of insecurity and a lot of uncertainty. And I remember going back to my parents' house. And when I was packing up to leave on a Sunday, I was kind of just looking around the house. And I saw this vase picture. And it was kind of quirky looking. It wasn't a valuable thing, but it was quirky. And I thought, this is kind of cool. And I took it. I remember kind of sneaking out of the house so my mom wouldn't see me holding it. And my dad could care less if he was like, yeah, take it. But my mom, I didn't want her to see that I had taken this. So I hid it under the seat of the car, and drove away. A couple of years later, my mom's in my apartment and she sees it. And it was a moment of she sees it and sees me seeing her, seeing it moment. And she said, I wondered what had happened to this. And I didn't have, I could feel the shame and the embarrassment like revving up, and I didn't have the presence to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have taken it. Can I please, you want it? Can I give it back to you? And I really wanted to hear her say, oh, sweetheart, if you had wanted it, I would have gladly given it. But that wasn't able to be offered either. Is to kind of feel the constriction of that moment between two people. So much not said. When we hold back from the impulse to take, we then have this opportunity to feel what is stirring inside, what is calling out for our attention. It gives us the opportunity to take a closer look at the nature of this impulse, what the hungers are, the longings are underneath that. What are the beliefs, the stories, even the justification that we use to take something that wasn't freely offered. It wasn't valuable. The impulse to take something, to feel that, and not to act out of that hunger. Feel the vulnerability. It was wrong of me to take that vase. It left a residue of embarrassment and shame because I didn't have the ability in that moment, at that time, to offer kindness to how frightened I was, or reassurance, or that ability to be with the longing of connection, of wanting something from my mother, taking a replacement object instead. The second precept is an opportunity for us also to train in contentment when we have the requisites of shelter, of food, clean air, clean water. We want to grow our ability to feel satisfaction with what we already have. That we are enough. So I want to share with you, and then I'm going to close with a short poem by Wendell Berry. And I saw this homework assignment at the Cambridge Insight Meditation Center, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was really lovely. And they were asked as part of the homework to ask this question, to ask it repeatedly throughout the day, to ask it so often that it becomes sort of a companion to you. And the question is, can this moment now be enough? And there's no need to try to convince yourself if it's not. But keep asking. And if it's a resounding no, 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 it's not enough, that too gets folded into the practice. Don't let it discourage you or dissuade you from continuing to ask. Can this moment be enough? Wendell Berry, in the poem, "What We Need Is Here." Geese appear high over us, pass and the sky closes. Abandon, as in love or sleep, holds them to their way. Clear in the ancient faith, what we need is here. And we pray not for new earth or heaven, but to be quiet in heart and in eye clear. What we need is here. Okay. Thank you for listening.